Damn, I got 550 subs. I'm so Sigma. Oh, shut the hell up. Australia found a new shark. Okay, of course, it's Australia. Why? Australia, can you please chill? Please and thank you. Australia, can you please not have a creature that will kill me every 5 seconds? Please. Oh, that's nicely. So last time we were actually harvesting this. So let's finish taking down this oat. We bought this lady's field because she wanted us to bale it, and I said we couldn't do it, but eventually you actually could bale it. So we got these 3 grain hoppers. No, 2 grain hoppers. Hell, I might plant corn in here and oat over there. What? What the shit? And am I I'm watching videos. Am I watching an ice officer with pantyhose on his face? Dude, and I was doing some math. Dude. Hey Siri. What is 25% of 371? 92, So I paid $371 for my Geiger counter. If I would have gotten that shit 25% tariff, I would have had to swallow a 92% tariff. Jesus Christ. That is my goddamn gas bill. That right there, I could fill my car up almost 2-3 times. I could go almost anywhere between 1,000 to 1,500 miles. Can you imagine if I actually got tariffed on that? Luckily, my Geiger counter is exempt. Hold on. Man, you know what? So, if anybody ever hears this, you should look up a guy by the name of Ross Ulbright. I think you'll think he's a very interesting person. Let me check if I got the name correctly. Yeah, it's Ross Ulbright. No! Again, I don't care, I'll get political. Who is Ross Ulbright? Ross Ulbright is the developer of the Silk Road. The Silk Road is a website on the dark web. Now, by the way, people always say everything on the dark web is bad. The dark web is just the bottom 5% of the web, and it's used because it's anonymous. There are a lot of bad stuff, but there's a lot of good stuff on the dark web, right? The dark web is only called the dark web because it's, imagine the internet as an ocean. You got your surface web, like you got your other things, then you got your, which is like the surface, like another like top 10% of the internet. Then you got, I don't know what the other thing is. It's like, I don't know. And then you got like a layer below that, which is like the stuff you have to sign into. And then below that you have the dark web, which is the anonymous part of the internet. So this guy developed the Silk Road. And you may be wondering, what's the Silk Road? The Silk Road is a website on the dark web that allowed for users to anonymously buy and sell substances and goods. Now, a few of these were okay, but 70% of the things that were sold and bought on this website were drugs like cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl. Hard-ass drugs, again, like PEDs, stimulants, steroids, all the nasty shit, right? This website was basically investigated by the FBI and ICE, who took it down, thankfully, in October 2013, I believe. And as a result, Ross Ulbright was charged with, let me get those charges up. Convicted of engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, distributing narcotics by means of the internet, conspiracy to commit money laundering, conspiracy to traffic fraudulent identity documents, and conspiracy to commit computer hacking. Not a good guy. Also, did I also tell you he sold fake... I shouldn't say he sold, but this website also had fake IDs for sale. So he was charged and sentenced to 2 consecutive life terms plus 40. Oh, also, I forgot to mention, his website had murder for hires. And, well, he actually tried to solicit murder for hire up to 6 times. One of the attempts was, it was caught by a DEA agent. So, a DEA agent was faking, trying to, he was trying to solicit for hire, and a DEA agent accepted it, and the dude was actually trying to solicit people to kill his adversaries on his own website. So, although he wasn't charged with it, he did basically try to solicit for murder hire, on top of those other fraudulent things. And so the baseline is, actually, give me a second. Let me read the stats. Wait, did he do an NFT? Family raised efforts to release him. Free Ross DAO. It's just gonna... As an NFT. His family literally engaged in NFT scams. This guy's an actual scoundrel. Holy shit. Let's see. Give me a second. Much he made like 600,000 Bitcoin, which is nuts because I've heard a Bitcoin could go up to anywhere like 50,000 bucks. That's nuts. Give me a second. How much do you make from Silk Road? AI mode. Let's see if I get an answer. Type this in the AI and get my answer. Okay, I'm wrong. 144,000 Bitcoin. He made $28 million. He received a donation of 300 Bitcoins in 2025. So this guy made millions of dollars off of a website that allowed for the trafficking of illegal drugs. And here's where it gets better. In January 2021, he was pardoned by Trump. You're telling me, I don't listen, I don't give a shit what political leaning you're on. The president pardoned a man who made a website that allowed you to sell and buy drugs. How many people have died from the drugs that went through that website? How many Americans were killed from the drugs that were bought off that website? How many? And not just that, he literally solicited for murder for hire. And we pardoned the bastard. So every time I hear our president say, oh, we got to take care of the drugs in Venezuela, bitch, you literally pardoned the drug, not just a drug dealer, you literal drug hub founder. Silk Road was the first market of its kind. And he founded it. The bitch got pardoned. If I literally went to go buy, if I tried to buy cocaine right now, I'd be arrested and thrown in prison. Rightfully so. But this bitch gets the pardon? How? Dude, like, literally search up Ross Ulbright. Dude is an actual menace. If I made a website that would allow you to traffic illegal drugs, I'd be arrested, thrown in jail, I'd be fined up my ass. Rightfully so. But this guy gets away with it. That's annoying. That's horrific. Double standard bullshit. Why was he pardoned? And by the way, President literally bashed people saying, those corrupt judges who convicted. Oh yes, the corrupt judges that convicted a guy that made a drug marketing website. This is who you put in office? I mean, I'm an independent. I'm just saying. Oh, shit. Hillcrest Valley. What the hell's going on? You're telling me you put a guy who literally, I mean, literally says he wants to get rid. I think everybody, I don't care what you're, regardless of anybody's leaning, we want drugs to go. Nobody wants drugs in the country. Drugs destroy lives. They drain bank accounts. They kill people. We need to get rid of them. Everybody wants that. But we shouldn't want a president who essentially pardons a guy who makes or made a drug website. No one's talking about it, too. I know it happened way a long time ago, but that's stupid. If he pardoned this guy, what other criminals did he pardon? That's my question. How many other people have been pardoned by him? And the bad thing is, you'll get people that defend him so much, saying that he's literally the greatest thing to ever touch America. Dude, get your head out of your ass. Do you see? Where's my phone? Actually, do you want me to go get my GoPro and shove it up your ass to see how shit you are? Seriously. Sorry, guys. I just don't support a guy who pardons drug website makers. Yeah, so Ross Ulbright, who literally was an absolute fraudster, his family is a fraud. He made NFTs. Guy made a drug trafficking website. I'm sorry, I have to repeat that. He made a drug trafficking website. He is a free man, and he's walking along you and me right now. He's not being punished. He should be punished. He should go to prison forever. Absolutely filthy, disgusting shit right there. Again, he didn't sell drugs himself, but he enabled it. I want to ask a question. If I had a guy in my garage right now selling crack cocaine, do you think I should go to prison? Yeah, because I'm letting a guy sell illegal shit out of my garage. I am an accomplice to that. Just like he's an accomplice because he literally made the website to distribute. We punish people for distributing CSAM. We punish people for distributing or allowing you to distribute drugs. And he got punished. He went to prison, but he's pardoned now. So yeah, screw me. Yeah, the FBI even seized the bro's computer. Oh, I hate double standards so much. Hi, XP Nation. Hey, Pinecone, do you want to hear something funny? Do you know what I'm really annoyed at right now? I discovered this a couple days ago, and it blew my goddamn mind open. Have you ever heard of a guy called Ross Ulbright? He's an American man. Oh my god, we're generating a lot of sorghum. Alright, so let me introduce you. Ross Ulbright is the founder of the dark web website known as Silk Road. Silk Road is a website that literally allowed you to sell and buy things anonymously. Sorry, I'm going to get into politics again. Sorry, Pinecone. But, so essentially, 70% of the stuff on Silk Road were drugs like cocaine, methamphetamine, and fentanyl and other shit. And so basically, ICE and the FBI back in 2012, they caught and busted his ass. And they caught him basically because he made a website where you could literally traffic drugs and hire murder for hires and buy fake licenses, like fake driver IDs. They caught his ass. And by the way, he was known to perform, or at least he was known to literally request murder for hires. He did it 6 times, one of which was caught by a Sting DEA agent. So our own government caught him trying to commit solicitation for murder for hire. And so in like 2013, ready? He was charged. No kidding. He was charged with engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise, distributing narcotics by the means of the internet, conspiracy to commit money laundering, conspiracy to traffic fraudulent identity documents, and conspiracy to commit computer hacking. He was almost convicted of conspiracy to solicit murder for hire, but they dropped those charges. Now here's where it gets worse. He was pardoned in 2025 by Trump. He was pardoned! The United States, leader of the United States, actually let him out of jail. He's free now. Let me remind you, this guy literally tried to put hits on people he wanted dead. He allowed for the trafficking of illegal substances who have killed who knows how many people. And he's walking free now. This comes as my president is attacking Venezuela because we think all the drugs are coming from Venezuela, which some of them are, but I don't know the whole deal about that. Which is stupid. That's like literally shooting yourself in the foot and blaming a gun company because you decided to cock a gun and shoot yourself in the foot. Imagine that. Oh my god, yeah, it's bad. I'm literally lost for words. By the way, I'm way more... Dude, this camera makes me look pale as shit. I'm dead-ass Casper the Friendly Ghost over here. My goodness. Like, I'm an independent, which means I don't identify with either side. But it really pisses me off the amount of double-sided BS that occurs in this country. Nobody has any testicular mass to stand up to the person that they view and idolize politically. And it pisses me off. We need to be able to criticize people. How do I do good? Do you have the game? In my opinion, the easiest way to make a lot of money is farm sorghum and turn it into flour and then turn it into bread. Or you could try farming cereal, but I wouldn't go to cereal until you get late game. You're going to need production facilities. So you're going to go here, go down here to factories. And first of all, you're going to need a grain mill. Now, you're going to find 2. If you got a lot of money, you're going to want to buy a bakery. So this will turn it into bread. And then you're also going to want to buy a grain mill. Where is it? There it is, I see it. This is the grain mill, but if you can't afford this, you can go down to the smaller one. Now, the big one will produce 10 times the speed of the small ones. So here's the grain mill right here. It looks like this. It's not big. And here is the bakery. This is only, like, basically this right here is the big bakery right here. This is another bakery right here. This is 10 times better than this. But it costs 5 times as much. So you dump in your grain, and I automatically have my grain, when it turns into flour, it automatically moves it into this building, and it pops out here. Yeah. So, by the way, I'm going to tell you this. If math is a very good skill to have in this game. If you can perform and crunch numbers, you're going to succeed. Also, fertilize your fields. Fertilize them and get them to double. To fertilize right after you plant, if you don't have it automatically inject fertilizer, and then after you grow a season, or after you grow a stage, fertilize it again, and you'll know you did it good when you have it dark blue. So when you fertilize once, it's going to look like this, and then when you let it grow one stage, it's going to fertilize like this. This dark blue color. You want that. Because if you do that, you can literally... Look at this. If I get double the crops off this field because I fertilized it. What the hell? What do they farm over in Australia? So, by the way, so in Illinois, where I live, right now, we're taking down soybeans and corn. So we farm a lot of it. And when I say we farm a lot of soybeans and corn, in Illinois, you can literally see, not like crops. So, in Illinois, like, I'm not kidding you, you can literally stand and you can see corn and soybeans for literally dozens of miles away. It's insane. Like, we're literally... Illinois is literally like a super flat from Minecraft. Like, do you see this? See this little square right here? That's a square mile. Ready for this? Look at that. Do you see all those little spots? All that is farmland. Why along with crops like canola, sugar, and wide variety of fruits. I've never seen canola. Look at that. 90 miles of straight farmland. Like I would say about 90% of our land mass, actually I'd say like 80%, 3/4 to 80% of our land mass in Illinois is just farm. In fact, if you take every province and state on Earth, we rank number 2 in soybeans and corn. We're kind of at a little bit of a roadblock because China won't buy our soybeans. We compete with Brazil and Argentina to produce soybeans. Right now, I'm taking down sorghum. I will say, in Illinois, we farm soybeans, corn, and rarely wheat. We also farm grass to hay, and if you're lucky, you'll even see pumpkins. We do farm pumpkins. Of course, Morton, Illinois is the pumpkin capital of the world. Bro, what do you have? What do you do when you have so much money? I just do other things. Like I buy better equipment, all that stuff. Oh yeah. Oh hey, I forgot. You were doing the wind turbine glitch. The only reason I don't do wind turbine glitch is because I just like to work for the money. I'm gonna transition off of cotton, and I'm gonna go into cereal production. You know, that's good. You have a wind turbine world like that, you can experiment and you can see what you can do in the game to make a lot of money. I love sorghum farming. It's very easy, and it's the easiest production chain you can do. But I did my calculation. Sorghum is the best way to make flour because it generates the most amount of liters per acre. Along with this, sorghum, honestly, whatever you want. I'm an American, so I like using Riverbend Springs. You could also do Europe. And also, there's new Asian maps, too. Wait, Australia farms sugarcane? Yeah, we don't farm sugarcane here. We can't grow it. We have to go down the southern parts. Which is kind of stupid, especially when you, like, start talking about tariffs. Like, man, President, Mr. President, we can't farm sugarcane here. We could probably do it in Puerto Rico, but we're not doing it here. We can't do it. Not good climate. Gotta do it in Puerto Rico. I wonder how many Americans don't know that Puerto Rico is actually a U.S. territory. Like, Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. They're actually... It's a territory. So it's not a state, again, it's a territory. Why can you not farm sugarcane? Because it's America. Our climate is not hot enough. Australia's hot as shit. Dude, I love the look of this new harvester. By the way, another tip in Farming Simulator, get the crawler track. It's expensive, but look at this. Look how sharp you can turn. Look at this. Oh, it's the... Oh, wait. I'm about to say, you're in Australia. You're southern. So it's about to start getting hotter right now. In America, it's starting to get cold. T-shirt weather's gone now. Jesus Christ. So I ordered a Geiger counter off of Radiocode. Have you ever seen... Have you ever seen people with those little black Geiger counters? And they go... Give me a second. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Those ones. I got one. And it's in Memphis right now. Is that sugar? No, that's cotton. Also, one thing I learned is that oak can swath. You know what I really wish I could do? I could see? I would love to see if you went back 200 years ago and you said, we have machines where you can harvest the field. Can you imagine that? Hundreds of people. A job that would take hundreds of people can now be done with just two. A guy in a combine and a guy with a trailer. Actually, I don't think these are Australian, but they're actually American. Oh, they are American. Case IH, same people behind this harvester, they did make a machine. They made a Magnum that is AI. A robot tractor. When this is done, this might be the last harvest I'll ever take off this field before it gets turned into a rice field. Welcome to the rice fields, mother... Give me a second. Dude, POV, my dumbass when I start farming rice in a couple of days.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker!
What does your guy look like on Farming Sim? Just typical guy who looks pissed. Why did I eat my cereal that made me pissed this morning? By the way, for reference, this is an 18-meter header. No, I'm wrong. 15 meters wide. That's how wide this header is. Also, you know what's cool is that if you actually look, it drapes. It literally bends and flexes with the land. What was it? The 9X? Or, no, X9. Dude, there's a video on YouTube about this. Like, search up John Deere X9. It's so cool. The people who engineered combines are so cool. By the way, the reason they call it a combine is because it picks the crop, and then it sifts and threshes it, and disposes of the pieces all in one thing. It combines multiple tasks into one single vehicle. Thus is why we call them combines. And over in Illinois, we see them with like these little corn headers. Or you'll find them with these. You'll find these. Also in Illinois, on this game, these Axial Flow 7150s, and some of their cousins, we find these exact same combines everywhere in this state. They are absolutely everywhere. So are these smaller John Deeres, but they don't have tracks. By the way, if you're not a Case IH nerd, the S7 is pretty good because you can get a track on it. And it's relative $380,000 for a tracked combine for early game. That's pretty good. These two tractors, these two combines right here are very good for medium farms, especially the Axial Flow. I love the Axial Flow series. This one is for big farms like what I got. By the way, if you don't know, this field right here took me forever to work on. Someone commented under the rice field meme by Billy Frank. Sad Vietnam noises. Oh, nah, bro. I don't know. Rice, honestly, 80, like literally 1 billion people on Earth eat rice. 1 out of 8 people eat rice. Let me check my fact. How many people eat rice? Oh, never mind. 3.5 billion. That's almost half the planet. Half the planet eats that shit. I don't eat it, but whatever. I'm not gonna shame. It is one. I think it's the most consumed grain on Earth. That's nuts. Is rice expensive? Like, if you mean this, if you're meaning profitable, long grain rice is actually not bad. In fact, shit, give me a second. Damn it. Long grain rice produces roughly 30,300 liters per acre. It actually produces more per acre than sorghum. Long grain rice, it's really weird to grow it, but you can harvest it with a combine, like with this one right here. Chat, would it have been better if we used long grain rice as a base? Give me a second. By the way, this game is very map-centric. So if you are good at math, you will succeed way better in this game. Okay, so for sorghum flour, we produce 1,200 times 13. You produce 15,000 of that per month. Oh my gosh. My charge cord for my PlayStation is like 2 meters long. It's a chunky boy. I produce way less. How much grain do I even need? $120 times 90. I need 10. Wait, actually. No, it's a separate flour. So, okay, so give me a second. So it consumes... Oh, you're going to be making more bread with this. Yeah, you'll make more bread. Because, look, 45 a month. You run 120 cycles. You make 45 bread per cycle. You make 120 months. 120 a month. Or 120 cycles a month. And you get this. Honestly, but that does mean you can actually double. You can double up rice and sorghum. But you know what's great about rice fields, Pinecone, in Farming Sim? They're perfectly flat. You will not experience bumps. You will not experience any ridges or divots. No. Rice fields are completely flat in Farming Simulator. Which makes building them a pain, but if you could do it, it's amazing. Also, you can build rice fields in polygons. We got 21,000. I think I might do the sorghum harvest again, but I might do soybeans. So I could just sell raw, straight soybeans and get... Wait a second, chat. Wait. How to know where things were made in Farming Sim? What do you mean where things were made? Do they? I don't think they still have the case cultivators. Hey, like if a tractor's American. So, have you, do you remember, have you ever played Farming Simulator 22? Do you know the case? Do you know, like, the cultivators that were made by Case, or the harrows that were made by Case? Like, these are harrows. Do you know, like, there's one that made by Case? But if you actually don't know, those disc harrows are actually made in Goodfield, Illinois, which is in the district of where I used to go to high school. I used to go to high school just a little bit of ways from Goodfield, and in Goodfield, Illinois, Case has a dirt implement plant, and then they get their disc harrows from Congerville, if I'm not wrong. So they make Case IH disc harrows in Goodfield, Illinois. So Case makes these bad boys, not this specific thing, but they make those in Goodfield. Excuse me, I tried to mute that, but I couldn't. I don't know what's wrong with me. Is rice grown in America? I honestly thinking, I think China is a temperate weathered country, which means that it's got, you know, your typical hot summers, cold winters, whatever, yada yada. Yes, it's grown primarily Arkansas, California, Louisiana, Mississippi, Missouri, and Texas. Missouri grows rice? Huh, that's interesting. But we probably get a lot of our rice from China and Japan. Because Asia is way better. Asia's good at making rice, just like we're good at making soybeans. America is good at making soybeans. Like the American continent, though. Especially South America. South America is the king of soybeans. Because you got Brazil and Argentina. And in North America, you got the U.S. And we make a lot of soybeans. And China imports them from the U.S. Well, not a lot, that much, because they're actually really pissed at us. Let's see, in Idaho, in the United States, Idaho makes a lot of potatoes. Like my restaurant, we get our fries are made from potatoes grown in Idaho. Or no, that's not fries. It's actually our raw potatoes. I love Farming Sim because it's so calming. There's nothing to get mad at. There's nothing to rage at. It's just genuine soothing. And the great thing about this is that while I harvest, I can talk to my community. And that's what I love about this game. I can literally talk to you guys. Yeah, I might just put soybeans on all these plots. I might actually even harvest sugar beet, which would take me a long ass time, like 3+ hours. It'd probably take me 4 or 5 hours, but sugar beets make a lot of money. They are like one of the best crops. They take a long time, but they make so much money. Even raw, dude. They make so much money. By the way, it would take me 3 hours to harvest this field if it was sugar beet, but the good thing is that sugar beets produce so much that if I harvest that field, that's 20 years of sugar. 20 years. 3 hours, I just get 20 years of sugar. Like that. Isn't that insane? Also, you want to see what's cool? With this combine, you can actually adjust your spout. So I can actually make it... Like, if he's a little bit further, I can go right here. But if he's closer, I just go right there. Dive your things? What do you mean dive your things? Man, we finished at the same spot. I need to get a better trailer. I hate this thing. Oh my gosh. Like, dude, I literally have a good-ass trailer. Yes, you can reset them. But if you reset your vehicles and you have, like, grain in a trailer, it will remove all the grain. Oh, you bitch. No, but you can actually... Watch this. So, you just saw, like, watch this, right? So, cancel job. Watch this. So, you go here, click on your tractor, and hit set destination. And after that, you click, and it's going to let you rotate. And boom. There he is. He's off to go drive. I love this. And he's going to struggle, but he's going to get there. He's going to go drive all that grain over to my grain mill while I harvest. That is an absolute time saver. Dude, I need to get a semi. How much is a semi? I need a Quadtrac. I need a Steiger. On PlayStation, you press down on R3. Just look on your toolbar. See how it says the button controls on the bottom? Look at that. But in Illinois, these are everywhere. Not the 715s, but oh, I love this Steiger. Or is it Steiger? I don't know what it is. Steiger. It is Steiger. This is a Steiger Quadtrac. And yes, these things are everywhere. This is an effing tank. If you ever wonder what happens when you merge a tractor and an actual tank together, this is what you get. This is a tractor on steroids. Look at that. This is real life. 788 horsepower or 572 kilowatts. of raw power. It's got a double turbo inside of it. So it's double fed turbo. It is an actual Kraken. Yeah, try looking at different areas. Like try different areas. Like try aiming for like on a street and they'll stop there. Also, this is very common, is the Magnum. I love the Magnum because it literally is like a half track. It literally has a track and wheels. This is actually the newer case quad. This is actually a newer one. Because the old ones used to have a horizontal light bar, but now this has two individual lights on it. This is my loader. I love my loader. Also, another thing you could buy on Farming Sim that's really nice, get a skidster. Do not buy a forklift. Just don't. Get a skidster. Skidsters, I use a skidster in real life, and it is useful. I have a hydraulic arm, I have a fork, and a bucket. And a trailer, a ballpoint hitch puller for my skidster. Skidsters are very useful. They can do anything. They can, like look at all these mods. You can carry bales, loads, stump grinding, rocks, claws. They're awesome. But if you're really, really wanting to get more for your money, get this thing. A wheel loader. Those are good for like loading logs, which I used it. Do I have that one rented or is that bought? Oh no, I bought it. I own it. I'm not leasing it. That chair is so creepy. By the way, Pinecone, Australia, did you seriously discover a new shark? What the shit? It's creepy as hell. Western Australian lantern shark. That thing is creepy. Literally, I'm watching a guy called More Pars. Literally Mad Max. Hi, smart name 126. Literally Mad Max. Oh. This guy says the shark is more adult than your average BMW because it glows. Nice. Torture. Oh yeah, right. There's a bird in Australia that will try to literally peck your freaking eyes out. Australia, can you pipe down, please? Dude, I've literally heard Australians have to check their damn boots for scorpions. Oh my god. Ugh. Oh, by the way, so, by the way, Pinecone, did you hear about weather news this month? The United States has experienced its first EF5 tornado within 12 years. The EF5 drought of America is now over. On June 20th, 2025, the Enderlin EF5 happened. The EF5 tornado is back. Have you seen that doorbell footage of the tornado? That's it. That is one of the most nutty looking tornadoes I've ever seen. Was it? Where? I don't know. I think that was Katrina. Actually, no. The highest wind speeds I think was the Moore, Oklahoma EF5. Oh, never mind. Barrow Island, Australia, 253 mile an hour. That had to very. Huh? How fast were winds in? No, it was Bridge Creek. Oh wait, never mind. It's definitely Bridge Creek because Bridge Creek was 302 miles an hour. Which, actually, wait. There is a catch. The Moore, Oklahoma, the Bridge Creek Moore tornado, I think, is estimated, whereas Barrow Island, Australia, is directly measured. It's the highest wind speed over recorded man station, whereas I think the highest Doppler speeds was 302 mile an hour off of Bridge Creek Moore, which, if you shouldn't be surprised, was an F5 that struck. By the way, the last EF5 that hit before Enderlin was Moore, Oklahoma, and the 1995 Bridge Creek tornado struck literally the same spot. Like the path of the Moore, Oklahoma tornado went right over the F5 tornado that struck in 1999. So can you imagine? Imagine living in Moore, Oklahoma. You get hit by an F5 on May 3rd, 1999. And then on May 20th, 2013, you get hit by an EF5. America is just Australia, but you take away all the plants that are trying to kill you, and you just replace it with weather. In Australia, the animals and life wants to kill you. In America, weather wants to kill you. Holy shit, I mean, we literally get tornadoes like crazy here. We have some of the best geography for them. We literally have Tornado Alley. I've even heard of, I've heard, like, of this one group of Australians who came over and looked at tornadoes. They bore witness to the Joplin EF5, which was a severe tornado. That tornado killed 153 people. One of the deadliest tornadoes on American records. That's stupid. Actually, if I'm not wrong, a tornado occurred in Greenville, Illinois, not Greenville, Greenville, Iowa, and that one was very fast. Have you seen the subvortices on the Greenville, Iowa tornado? That thing is nuts. Like that thing it was ripping down wind turbines. Dude, I'm not Australian, but I've heard not to mess with kangaroos. Those things are built like, those things are on steroids. I've seen the muscles on kangaroos. They're freaking nuts. The thing with, they are literally known, apparently, to drown people. Or was it dogs? Kangaroos are... Greenville tornado. Look at this monstrosity. It was tearing down a couple Vestas V120s. It literally looks like an angel of death. That's a wind turbine, by the way. I don't know. The Greenfield tornado, I remember looking at radar when it happened. Dude, go look at Reed Timmer. His video is amazing. Give me a second, chat. Look at this. Can I find the video? Dude, look at this madness. Credit goes to Reed Timmer, by the way. Look at this. Look at that wind turbine right there. Ready, and bam, cooked. Like, look at the subvortices on this thing. This thing's insane. Are you West? I've never seen this good of a subvortice before. Those are like little tiny tornadoes inside of a big one. See, look, the wind turbines are stopped. And the reason they are is because when a wind turbine experiences over 50-mile-an-hour winds, or it can be lower depending if it has a lower IEEC class, but if it experiences high winds, it will shut down. So wind turbines don't go flying crazy. They don't spin like crazy when they're in a tornado. They actually shut off. That's a safety feature. So many people were saying that green energy was a failure because the tornado destroyed those wind turbines. Brother, that was an EF4. Nothing was gonna survive that bastard. Wind turbines, house, no, it's not surviving. It's gone. That tornado would destroy anything. I would be surprised if it were to almost get an EF5 rating. That was a pretty strong EF4, because, by the way, those subvortices, when you see those like little fingers at the bottom of a tornado, that is indicative of an EF4 or above. Only the strongest tornadoes can. They lock the joints. When they service them, they'll actually do a rotor lock. So they'll actually take a metal steel pin and put them through the rotors at the inside the top, and it will physically stop them. So that when a wind turbine breaks, it will use hydraulic calipers. Imagine your car's brakes, but on crack. So hydraulic, like this, the disc, it goes like boosh. I don't know why I said boosh. Like boop, it clamps down and it slows down the wind turbine, and it can bring wind turbines can come to a stop relatively within about a minute. I was on vacation in Wisconsin when I saw that tornado that I showed you. Yeah, those poor wind turbines didn't stand a chance. Shit, yep, that wind turbine, I'm looking at it right now. That wind turbine got demolished. That tornado... Oh, shit! That bastard's getting cooked. Yikes. Yeah, when wind turbine blades get destroyed, they're like fabric. Look at this. Completely cooked. That, by the way, these are Vestas V120, so those are 120 meters across, and they're roughly about 80 to 90 meters tall from the top to the box. Are EF4, EF5, are they powerful? They are the most powerful. EF5 tornadoes are, those EF5s are the worst and most destructive tornadoes in history. These tornadoes, EF5s, are so strong, they will level houses. When I say level, I mean, like, look. By the way, when an EF5 goes over a house, it just doesn't exist. It's called slabbing. Look at this. Do you want to see what an EF5 does to a house? This. Gone. House deleted. These tornadoes, EF5s, are so powerful. They can rip the asphalt off of the ground. They can tear scars up to 1 to 2 foot thick. The ground begins to explode under the pressure of EF5s. EF5s will reduce well-built 2-story brick homes into nothing. Houses completely slabbed. Trains thrown hundreds of feet, if not hundreds of yards away from their location. And in rare cases, storm shelters can be heaved out of the ground with tornadoes. EF5s can even take cards, playing cards, and lodge them into trees. EF5s, again, they are the most dangerous, and it is the highest rated tornado on the Enhanced Vegeta scale. They are also very rare. Usually EF5s, before 2013, they would occur about once every 1 or 2 years. There was a day in 2011 where we got 5. Or 4 or 5 EF5s in one day. Which was absolutely nuts. Yeah, EF5s are very rare. Like, for example, we just got one in June 20th of 2025. Before then, the last one was in 2013. I was in primary school when the last one happened, before the one that happened this year. No, but there was an F6. Xenia and Lubbock. They were F6, however, Ted Vegeta, who made the scale, he decided that they would need to be downgraded to an F5 because the F5 was supposed to be the limit. So yes, we did at one point have F6, an F6. EF6 is not possible. It is literally unimaginable. EF5 serves as the highest cap. There are very strong EF5s, there's weak EF5s. When I say weak EF5s, like, actually, that's an oxymoron. However, I think, in my opinion, the worst tornado is F6 or EF5. I'd say almost F6. F6 is, F is wind speed, EF is damage. But there was this tornado that went from EF1 to EF5 within 6 seconds. And that tornado, literally, the pressure is so low, your tear ducts could rupture out of your head. That's nuts. This same tornado, by the way, this tornado that I was watching, it dug 2-foot deep trenches. The ground, from the pressure, the ground exploded out into this tornado. It also reduced this guy's concrete porch to nothing. It heaved his tornado shelter out of the ground by at least a foot or so. And in the same house where this guy's porch was destroyed, a 800-pound, or roughly, I'd say, 300-kilogram safe was anchored to the concrete foundation, was ripped off. Its steel door was violently ripped off of the safe, and it was chucked. This guy's also, the same tornado, when it went over a school bus, literally, it's called Rainsville. Rainsville, holy. Like, it literally chewed a school bus down to the frame. Here it is. You want to see what the Rainsville tornado did to a school bus? Yep, gone. I mean, it's a school bus. School buses are relatively weak. Yeah, no more school bus anymore. It's gone. Oh, see ya, man. You should watch June 1st. He does tornadoes, and he's good. Rainsville or Smithsville tornado? Honestly, I'd say Rainsville, honestly, in my opinion, was probably worse than Bridge Creek. And the reason I say that is because Rainsville had EF5 damage 25% of their way. By the way, in the United States, if one house suffers EF5 damage, even if one house out of like 100 was EF5, it's still classified as EF5 because it's classified as the highest damage it can do. So that means even if it did EF5 damage for literally like 0.1% of its path, it's still going to get the EF5 rating, even if it was majority an EF3 or 4. By the way, the storm that spawned the Rainsville tornado spawned another EF5 and 2 EF4s. That supercell was cooking. 2 EF5s and 2 EF4s from one supercell. You know what the scary thing about EF ratings are? Is that you could literally watch a needle tornado, and it could be an EF5. For example, the most famous tornado picture is probably the Eli, Manitoba F5. And it just looks like a nice little cone. Looks like a peaceful little tornado. It's an F5. Canada's only F5, by the way, until they, like America, switched to EF. Or not Job, or what do you call, Gerald. That's what it's called, Gerald. When Gerald begun, it was a tiny little needle, a little pencil-shaped tornado. But then it would grow and evolve into a wedge and literally stay over people's houses for 2 to 3 minutes, killing entire families. And it did. You would look at it. If I showed you pictures, you would say, it's just a peaceful little tornado. That tornado was an absolute killer. I think it killed 30 or 20 to 30 people. Horrible tornado. And it literally made a dead man walking before it would literally kill all of its victims. True potato. Yes. Hi. I love your profile picture. That's awesome. Nice. I'm actually doing pretty good. I'm at 551 subs now. Slow, but we're making a good effort. Can I have better trailer this? No. Make a what? Your profile picture reminds me of... What's his name? Oh, I know what his name is. Grade A Under A. That's what your profile reminds me of, is Grade A Under A. I don't know. Honestly, with the stuff going on with Roblox, I might be taking a little bit of a break, you know. Yeah, that sucks, dude. I feel so betrayed. is tiny compared to this big. Might start a little bit. I mean, I think I can make it up soon. One last cop virus, guys. That is what I'm gonna call tomorrow. Oh. Dumb bitch. Maybe I'll pump cotton again another day, but not today. Yeah, this is gonna be perfect. Beetroot harvesting will be a little bit more annoying since, you know, it literally is like less, not as wide as this, but at least it'll produce way more. Like we think, I'm not wrong, we may have already harvested way more than they. Check out. Would you believe if... Oh, shit. I didn't notice that. By the way, that if I do the beet harvesting, it will be less wide. It will literally... The head will be less big. But here's the good thing about that machine, is that it just produces so much more. If I sold it raw, it'd be worth more than this cotton. So the amount of money per hour would be better than cotton. But the problem is I'm gonna have to buy it, which I could probably rent it, but I just want to have a machine. It's nice to have all those small stacked movie right there. Those are the remnants of the trees that used to be roughly right here and right here. I cut them down to make a mega field. Okay, so that's kind of perfect. Look at this. So yeah, we're gonna have to take all this down. I could have just plowed over it, but you know what? Nah, I'm gonna harvest it and get the money. I'm gonna definitely need the money to jumpstart my operations. The only problem is the beet harvester is like the most expensive harvester, or like literally the most expensive vehicle in the game. Never mind, that's actually the cotton harvester. I need roughly $610,000 to get that machine. Which, oh my gosh, it's gonna cost me a lot of money. I should probably. No, I might have to contemplate renting the damn thing. Like, bro, leasing it would be a bad idea. I was also thinking, what if I can actually jumpstart? Or I can start saving grain right now. That way when I get in, I have a surplus. When I get the machines that make the honey, I'll have a surplus. Huh, I don't remember this thing being here. Huh, a self-propelled round baler. Vermeer. I haven't seen Vermeer in this game, although we actually have Vermeer in Illinois. Dude, this is literally the exact same thing as this. Let's see, and also we're gonna have to have forge harvesters too. Holy shit, this is gonna be an expensive thing to do. I don't need it, but I just really like the look of the Unstoppable a lot better. Do that. So 633,000. Let's... Okay, and then oh man, we're racking up a bill right here, chat. We're racking up a friggin' bill. I might go for this one too. This. But damn, if we have that, we better get the quad track. Hold on, conceders? You could, on a harrowed field. Yep, save that. So let's see, the forge harvester and header. Forge harvester plus header. Also, we're gonna need a quad track to pull the 685. Oh, let's go for it. Damn. And we're also gonna need this bad boy right here. Plus insurance tab. Hero, where are you? Yeah, I'm pretty sure in Illinois we do this all the time. We use arrows. Yeah, right. I remember I got pissed and I put a cargo crate at people's houses or in front of the gas station so that way I could piss off my neighborhood. It works. It freaking works. We're gonna use power arrows, because power arrows are awesome. Okay, so first of all, we're gonna need a bee harvester. That's 705. There's 707 actually to be exact, plus header. And then we're going to need a I'm gonna get the Amity Tech thing. 60. The Amity bin is actually better than it's the best way to transport these things. The good thing is we already got the planner. Plus $125,000 for the chaff. After that, the forage harvesters, which we're gonna need. We're not gonna use chaff from grass. We're gonna go for corn chaff, because that's way better. Yeah, we should just get forage harvester in general. Plus 625. I don't care. I just like that look. Look at it. It even has a jaguar on the bottom. By the way, the long pipe is really weird. It's glitchy. We're not going to use it. It's 633,295. Plus that header. What the hell is this? Can I attach the things? Huh. It looks like that and adapt right to this. Sure. Alright. Plus a trailer. Okay, so I have plus that trailer. Plus that header, which I like that one. It doesn't matter. They're all, these right here. These are literally the exact same. This one's just a little bit heavier. Oh, this one consumes 10 slots. This one consumes 1. That one consumes 4. This actually consumes less slots. This only consumes 1 slot. This is 9, 11 slots equals. See how that, well, like, out of 3,500? That's how many things. If I consume that, I can't buy anything more. Like, that's 11, 13, 1. And it's got the best silage tank on it. So that plus that $124,000 header. That's $17 million. Okay, now we need to get a Harrow. This Harrow, we're gonna buy this one. About $194,500. Which I like this because it can go fast, but we're gonna need a big tractor. The good thing is, again, like some of these things when we buy, we're gonna be able to hopefully use them for other things like the quad track. We gotta get the quad track. We gotta get the quad track. $693,500. This is gonna rack up fast. We're already at $2.5 million. We gotta spend, and we're probably not even close. Holy shit! Oh, my cedar. Plus, wait, do we? 206, 500. Also, this is not even counting the construction cost of our farm. I'm not even going to include rice because it's almost negligible. Plus 210,000 for that dairy farm. Cereal factory, so 240,000. And we need sugar mill. Hungry. Plus another 240. Oh. Also, we're gonna need cows. I'm gonna go with the big cow barn. And then, bees. We need 135. That brings our grand total up to $4.46 million to start. We need $4.5 million. That's a lot of money. But we're gonna do it. We're not gonna give up. You know what? You're gonna learn something. If you've never learned this about me, you're gonna learn this. I am goddamn tedious. I stop at almost nothing to get shit done. And we're gonna do it. No, we're not gonna wuss out of this shit. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We can do it. I might even see if I can start a whole crop and sell a whole damn crop of sugar beet. Okay, sugar beet. For sugar beets, we produce 23,391 per acre divided by 2011, and we get that times 102,000. We'll get 1,186,000 beetroots. Now, let's see. What's my economic difficulty set to? Because if it's set to easy, we need to set to... Oh, it's not normal. So if I go over here, and we look at... The good thing is we don't have to buy a fertilizer, because we already got that. We don't have to buy... another thing we do not have to buy... We don't have to buy this thing. So that... We already got it, of course. These actually go pretty fast, but they're not worth it. I want the big one. So this will be able to plant. The only problem is this is gonna have solid fertilizer. We could do bonus. We could, So let's see. Divide by 1,000. Let's go to the price. How much are we... Let's say I went to a station. I dumped all this sugar beet into a... Just raw sugar beet. Times this by 349. If I harvest... You know how I have this mega field down here? If I harvested it and I just... Raw sugar beets, I'm making $414,000. That's a lot of money. What happens if I process it into sugar? Let's see. So I get my sugar beets. Divided by 1.05. Divided by 2 times 1.05. And I'll get 622,868 liters of sugar. What if I sold that? See, this is why math is really good in Farming Simulator. If you learn math, you will dominate the game. Market size of the liquid sugar. Ooh, that looks good. 954. We could make close to $600,000 if we could just convert it into sugar. Wait a second, I have an idea. What can I use sugar for? Besides chocolate. Can use it in the bakery. Excuse me. Shit, broski. The dairy. Of course, I can make chocolate. The only problem is that, I don't know, you know, I'm not, F the cake. F the cake. How about chocolate? You know, guys, if I buy a corn header, by the way, I forgot to even mention that we need to buy the corn header. So, corn header. So where is it? So, we need to buy a corn header as well. Frickety frick frick. 156. plus, and I know it's a big bonus. Get the trader for it. We're looking at, not to say give or take $4.5 million. I have an idea. So what if I start by making my money off chocolate and I transition over into cereal? Because here's the thing. Hear me out. What if, I can make corn right now. I can grow corn. I can harvest corn. And then I can harvest beetroots. And I could lease, let's say I lease a harvester for a year. I lease that harvester. It's mine. Not really mine. I harvest my field of beetroots. I bring it home. I turn it into sugar. And then I turn that sugar and I harvest the corn. Turn it into silage. Lease a tractor. Turn it into silage. And then feed a couple cows. You know what I mean? Feed cows. Turn it into chocolate. Because here's the thing. We can make 13,000 sugar every single month. I can make a lot of that. So I can make 2,520 sugar a month divided by 1,000. Chocolate's pretty expensive to sell, isn't it? Like you can get a good amount of money if you sell chocolate. Let's see. Chocolate is going for ooh, that's good. 38.14. It's making 9,000 a month, so I can make $115,000 a year. I don't know if I'll make chocolate. I'd rather probably just turn it straight into sugar. Alright, so here we can, of course, we can pump out about 64,000 bread a year. for making $200,000. Honestly, I almost think for a temporary amount of time, let's see, I can make 140. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I think I might just go full sorghum again. And I might just I might go full sorghum again. And then just because I can make $240,000 a year, I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. Shit. I'm teetering between doing the sorghum or doing the beetroots. This is a honey wagon. Alternate. Hopefully you can load conveyor belts with sugar, beets, or potatoes. Nice back pallets, that's cool. But I don't know. I might even sell the beets raw. Either way, this is gonna be a very slow, tedious process. Give me a second. I'm gonna... Soybean. Soybeans do swath? We actually generate less soybeans than cotton. We're gonna generate 92,000 liters of soybeans if we did that. If we did the field. Divide by 1,000. Times 2152. Make $198,000 just selling raw soy. Yeah. Let's say 2 hours. So 60, the 180 minutes divided by let's say 3 hours. It'd take me to harvest something with a 4-meter wide thing. 45 minutes per head. $15.2 divided by let's say 6, right? So 2.5 times the width, right? So 120 divided by 2.53. It'll take me under an hour, about 47 minutes to harvest soybeans. So that 47 minutes. $198,765. Roughly, I'm getting roughly $42,000 an hour. Meanwhile, if I sell these raw, I get $440,000. Let's say I take 3 hours to do this, because 2 hours is for a 6-meter header, and 4-meter header is about 50% less header, so that means 50% more time. So half of it, 2 hours is an hour, so 3 hours. Divided by 180. So if we make beetroots raw, we get $2,300 an hour for soybeans. We're making about $4,000 an hour. Okay, so the verdict is in. We're gonna farm soybeans. We could probably make about, say, probably 250,000. I think, you know what? It's how about corn? I want to see what corn does. We get a lot of corn. I'm not talking about the adult material. 3,723 liters of corn can be produced per acre. So let's see, times 102,000. We can make 188,000 corn divided by 1,000 times the highest price of corn, which goes for, it's cheap though, $8.60. $198,000. We make $30,000 less dollars if we do corn. That sucks. Honestly, I think we just go for soybeans. Yeah, soybeans, it's going to take us 47 minutes per harvest. I could build a plant down, but the problem is I'd have to sell it, and I just lose money. I could probably get like $250,000 off of soybeans if I farm this. That plus, I could probably get about 500,000 a year. It's gonna, honestly, here's the thing. No matter what I'm gonna do, it's gonna take a long time to get the money to run or buy all the equipment to do this. But I think if I do get the equipment, I'm gonna make $1 million every single year. We'll figure more out tomorrow.